Some Fort Washington residents try to salvage what they can from their homes. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Denise Douglas. Well, Rochelle, it will be several weeks before residents in a Fort Washington community are allowed back into their homes where a slope collapsed. Soil samples have to be taken and analyzed so that workers can figure out how to fix the problem. We were on the scene all day today. Here's what things look like. As rain fell, there were concerns that it could slow things down.
We're always going to be monitoring. That's why we have a whole team from geologists.
Workers are collecting soil samples that will be used to help them figure out how to fix the problems in the area where the slope gave way.
The main focus of the work is by the geologists who are down there drilling to take the soil samples. These soil samples are going to need to be tested and analyzed in terms of so we can understand, both hopefully from this, what is causing the slope failure as well as how it can be fixed.
At the same time, some residents went back to their homes in this Fort Washington community to collect their belongings. 28 houses on Piscataway Drive have been evacuated after a low-grade landslide pushed by heavy rains from last week caused the road to collapse and interrupted water service and other utilities.
After you work with them, you establish a rapport.
Yash Parak and other Red Cross volunteers are helping people who are displaced find temporary housing. They also offer food, water, and in some cases, they lend a sympathetic ear in this room that has been set up in Harmony Hall.
When they can go back to their homes, the roads are blocked there, and they are not sure yet when this will be over.
It's a question with no clear answer for residents, since it will take at least 2 weeks for the results of the soil sample to come back. And then there will be more work to be done to shore up the slippery slope.
So it's not just testing the samples, but it's analyzing this. So we're hoping that when that comes back, we'll have solid answers for these residents.
The Resource Center at Harmony Hall has been opening for residents around noon and closing around 11 in the evening. Well, folks who go to that temporary resource center will meet a very interesting couple. Devoted to the community and each other, Yash and Padnak Parak have been volunteering with the American Red Cross since 2005. Married 51 years, the couple has recently been helping the displaced families in Fort Washington. Far away from their native India, they wanted to serve their new American community.
We wanted to pay back to the community since we are here and we are away from India. So we like to do all those kind of work.
Yeah, they've gotten a chance to volunteer at a number of disasters. The couple volunteered for the Red Cross during the hurricanes Katrina and Sandy.
Gunfire erupts in an Oxon Hill neighborhood and takes the life of a man. It happened just after 1 a.m. in the 4900 block of Morey Place. Investigators say police officers who were nearby heard the shots and responded. When they arrived, they saw the victim in front of a house. A resident who did not want to be identified tells CTV News what she heard and saw.
My husband woke me up he heard about 10 shots, and I'll say it was probably on Southern Avenue because we always hear shots over there. And then we heard the police banging on the door, and I looked out the window just to see who was banging on my door, about 1:15, and that's when I saw the body laying over there. And I don't know who it was or name or anything like that.
Police are still trying to determine a motive. No word yet on the victim's identity.
Police are stepping up efforts to catch a man they say raped and robbed a woman in Hydesville. They have released a new surveillance picture that clearly, there you can see it, shows his face. On Sunday, he allegedly followed the woman after exiting the Prince George's Plaza metro station. Police say as they got close to the loading dock at TJ Maxx, he threatened her with a knife and demanded property. Then he forced her behind a dumpster where the assault took place. If you know anything about this suspect, give police a call.
The international community continues to call on authorities to do more to rescue the nearly 300 schoolgirls kidnapped by a terrorist group in Nigeria. The Washington Post is reporting about 53 of the girls have escaped, but 276 schoolgirls remain captive. Today, Congresswomen held a press conference outside the Embassy of Nigeria in Washington, D.C., calling on that country's government and the U.S. government to act.
To the United Nations, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. And today we will be talking to Secretary Kerry about his trip to Africa and what he found out as he talked to them today. And we are going to make sure that members of caucus and the Congressional Black Caucus are going to stay engaged, and we're going to do everything in our power to help the Nigerian government in any way we can, but also to say to the world, we are no longer going to allow you to send our children into slavery.
Meanwhile, Maryland's senior U.S. Senator Barbara Mikulski addressed colleagues last night calling for additional international sanctions against the terrorist organization.
We, the women of the Senate, have written a letter on a bipartisan basis calling for the president to have the group, the Boko Haram group, be placed on the international Al-Qaeda terrorist list and calling upon sanctions to be imposed against them.
Mikulski expressed her outrage at the events in Nigeria. She says education is a basic right for boys and girls who deserve an equal opportunity to pursue learning without fear of violence and retribution. You're watching CTV News. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Denise Douglas.